Hey everyone, welcome to this AutoCAD tutorial on how to design a pair of shoes in AutoCAD. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be using 3D meshes for this. I'd like you to go to the top view and kind of imagine what looking at a pair of shoes from the soles would look like from the top. And that's what we're going to be drawing out. We're going to be drawing out half of the sole of a shoe. And to start, I'd like you to use the polyline command. So P-line, enter, then click somewhere, and then right click, go over to arc, and right click and then go over to second point. And then use that second point tool to kind of draw out what you envision a pair of shoes looking. So for me, it's something like that. And it might not be perfectly centered. That's fine, because next we're going to use the line tool and determine which one of these is more centered. Make sure your ortho mode is on over here. Click, and then you'll have like an intersection. With that in place, use the trim command, select the entire object, press enter, and trim off these two parts. So we're left with nothing but a profile of the shoe. Okay, we're going to also make a few copies of this to save for later. So use the copy command by typing in copy, enter, select this, press enter, and move a copy away from the original. After that, we're going to change our screen. So click on the little negative sign here, the hyphen, go over to viewpoint, and we're going to switch over to our 3 left option. And that's going to give us our 3 profiles. I'd like you to turn this one isometrically so you can see it better. And then we'll start with the bottom one, which we're going to change over to front. So this is a front view. Decide which one you want to have as your original. And then on this screen, type in line, enter, and go to this screen, click on a line, and go up vertically, like that, and then click back here so you can actually go up vertically on it. And determine a distance you want to go up because we want to match it on the other side. So I'm just going to go ahead and say this is that thickness of the bottom part of the shoe. And for me, looking at that number, 0.7184, I'm just going to go ahead and say 0.7, enter. So that's now fixed in place. We're going to do the same thing, line, enter, but this time we're going to select the back part of the shoe. Go back here, and then once again, type in 0.7, enter. Enter. So I needed 2 enters. So we got those 2 done. And now let's see if we can move our copy. So head back over here. And before we put it on, let's also copy it one more time. Copy, enter, select that, enter, and move a copy away from that. Okay, and then we're going to use the move command, move, enter, select that, enter, click on that point, and connect it to this point up here. So if you did that correctly, you should be looking at the side profile of a shoe. Now let's create the mesh. So type in surf tab 1, and that's going to increase the meshes and make sure it's 30, enter. Then we're going to also do surf tab 2, which increases the meshes in the vertical area, 30, enter. And then we're going to use the edge surf command, enter, and we're going to select 4 lines. So hopefully you have 4 lines as well. If you do so, it should create that side profile. So that's looking good. Now we're going to move on to our copy over here, and let's start by offsetting it. So use the command offset, OFF, offset, click on that one. Then you have to specify an offset distance. So I'm just going to move it out a very small amount. I'm going to say like 0.1, enter. And then I'm going to select the object I want to offset. I'm going to move it in that direction, and then I'm going to click. Okay, and then I should be able to press escape twice and have an offset. Go over to where your top view is, and you should see it here as well. And on this screen, We're going to use the move command, enter, and select that object, enter. Then I'm going to click at that point and adjust my cube so I'm looking at it from the top view. And I'm going to raise this up so it's kind of like above it. So this is like an offset, but it's like an above it offset. I'm going to put it down like that. Then I'm going to use the line tool to copy this. So line on this screen, of course. Then I click over here and I connect these 2 points. Okay, let's do it again. So click here, use the line tool, enter, and then click over here and connect these 2 points. So it's going to look something like that. And if you haven't guessed it, this is going on top of that. Before we do that though, look at it from your top view and get a copy of this part over here because we're going to need that. So enter and move a copy out. Then press escape a few times. And once again, surf tab should be set. So use edge surf now. And with edge surf selected, go ahead and click on your 4 lines. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to rotate the screen to select the 4th one. 4. Okay, so now we got that side profile. And guess what? We're going to use the move command, enter, and we're going to select that, enter, select it at that point. That's going to connect to this point up here. So now we got 2 done. Okay, then the next part, we got to add in more of a curve. So this is going to be very curved on the front portion, and then hopefully have that opening. And to draw that, let's head over to our top view window over here, and we're going to start with a polyline, enter, and then we're going to draw out a straight line up until where you think the shoe is going to, have that opening. Click there once, then right click, go over to arc, right click, second point, make sure your ortho mode is off so you can actually draw in the arc, and then create the opening of the shoe. So it's fine if you go a little bit over. Then I'm going to right click, go to line, and connect that. So it's going to look something like that. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and copy that over and move it up. So make sure you're on this view, because that's our side drawing view, or front view. And then type in the move command, press enter, and select the object from here. So we're selecting it from here, and then pressing enter, and then clicking here, and then selecting a point here and going up. And if you look over, you'll notice that it's going up. Make sure ortho mode's on so you can go up vertically, and go up a reasonable distance such that it will kind of like arc there. So I'm going to go up maybe to about, let's say here or so. So I'm going to click there. That's looking pretty good. And back over here, let's take a look. Yeah, that looks great. Let's draw in some lines. So I'm going to click here, use line, enter, and then click here and connect that line over to that line. Oh, whoops. I should have, this is good. It's practice of what not to do. So you got to make sure you're looking at it right. So I'm going to go back there, use the line tool, press enter, and go here to here. And then we got to do the front of the shoe as well. So we can't just close these lines off because then the shoe will be like pointy, and we don't want it to be pointy, so we're going to have to draw that in. And we need to switch over to a left view to do that. The only issue is if we switch over to the left view, this mesh is getting in the way. So we're going to have to associate this mesh with a level and then hide it. So go to layer properties, right click over in this area over here, go to new layer, call it sole or something, and then associate it with a color. So I'm going to associate it with red. Press OK, close out of this, select both of these objects, and then make it part of the red layer, and then turn off the sole so it's not in the way. And those must be remnant lines, which we probably don't need anymore, so I'm going to delete those. Okay, but now we can see it a lot better now, the top of the shoe. So click over here, use the polyline tool, enter, and then click back here, and we're going to select this line, but then go back into this view so we can draw it. Turn off your arc or your ortho mode, and then we're going to right click, go to arc, and I'm going to right click again and go to second point. And I'm going to do my best here, guys, to draw in an arc. So maybe something like that. And if you don't like it, you can always adjust it. We're going to use the trim command, enter, select the whole thing, enter, and try to trim that off. If it doesn't, like it didn't there, simply select this line and then click on this point and connect it via there. So you can see it's connected here. And now that we have all our lines in place, let's give this a go after we copy the top profile that we made again. So use copy, enter, select that, enter, move this out of the way. Let me move it out with ortho mode on. Click there. And now let's use our edge surf command, enter, and select the 4 profiles. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, and we can kind of see how it looks. It's pretty round there, and hopefully round enough, but if not, you can always adjust that. And let's also turn back on that layer so you can see it. But let's go ahead and move this up here. Move, enter, select, enter. Click on the corner point, and click on the corner point here. Cool. And this is looking, wow, that's looking really good so far. So I will finish this up in part 2, and I'll see you later. Peace.